So there's quite a few legendary grenades in Borderlands 3, and while I've covered a lot of shields and weapons and stuff on the channel, I haven't really covered grenades in a compilation styled format. So I thought in this video, why not showcase 5 of the most powerful legendary grenades that you can get right now in Borderlands 3. Coming in for the first grenade of the video, and by the way, this is in no particular order, but we have the ghast call. The ghast call is a new legendary grenade that is only available during the Bloody Harvest event, which lasts up until December the 5th. And let me tell you guys, this thing is quite literally insane, especially if you can get your hands on a good variant. Now the ghast call itself is manufactured by Torque, and its unique effect is that when thrown, it launches a ghast skull that explodes on enemy impact. Upon the explosion, it will then spawn a rift which summons a ton of homing skulls, and these homing skulls also explode on impact as well. Now this does spawn a lot of them, which is why this grenade is powerful, and if you can get your hands on the cloning variant of this, it will then split the grenade into 2 in flight, essentially meaning you're throwing out 2 grenades each time, making this an extremely powerful grenade to get your hands on, even rivaling that of the post-nerf recurring hex. Now I have seen other variants of this. You can get the roided variant, which will boost the damage by 20%, and I've also seen a recurring prefix of this as well on Reddit. Although I'm not sure if it's modded because I haven't seen this anywhere else, and if it isn't modded, then goddamn, this thing is incredible. I'll show a short clip of this on screen, and what this essentially would mean is that this grenade would split into 2 in flight and then split again into 3 on impact. And I mean, you guys can just see the amount of craziness that occurs when using this thing. And again, I'm unsure if it's modded, but that is a clip that I did see on Reddit. Anyway, moving on, the grenade also has the red flavor text, "To you I am past, a story to tell," which is actually a reference to the metal band known as Death and their song known as Story to Tell. Now to get the grenade, again, it's only available during the Bloody Harvest event, and any enemies in the Heck region have a chance to drop this, but it can also drop from the golden skulls that can sometimes spawn from haunted enemies. So of course, your best bet for obtaining it is to simply run the Bloody Harvest event as many times as you can. Returning from Borderlands 2, we have the legendary grenade known as the Stormfront. The Stormfront always comes with the shock element, and when thrown, spawns several smaller grenades that chain lightning to multiple enemies. Now the good thing about this is that the chain lightning effect that this grenade has actually counts as splash damage, so any skills or items you have that boost your splash damage will also boost the overall damage output of the grenade. This grenade can also come with different parts that affect how the grenade is thrown, and the 2 most sought after variants are the longbow or impact variants, as these will proc almost instantly. In general, the grenade does a lot of damage, especially because a lot of the enemies in this game use shields, so it's a perfect choice when mobbing, and also when paired up with a transformer shield, you'll find yourself regenerating shield at an extremely fast rate, which will keep you alive in most situations. In addition to this, it also has the red text, very frightening, which combined with its name being Stormfront is a clear reference to the song Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Overall, it's an amazing grenade and definitely one to get your hands on if you don't already have it, and bear in mind it is a world drop, so it's obtainable from any suitable loot source. Coming up next, we have the Mervtacular and Recurring Hex. These are the best variants of the Hex grenade that you can find in Borderlands 3, and even after the recent nerf to this grenade, it's still one of the best in the game. The Hex is essentially a homing grenade that will target and home in on the nearest enemy, and will then split into multiple grenades and elemental coils, which then continuously damage the enemy over time, resulting in a lot of craziness going on screen and a lot of damage being dealt. The elemental coils caused by the grenade also count as splash damage, so again, any skills or any other items you have that boost your splash damage will also boost the overall damage output of the grenade. Now this can come in multiple different variants. You have the normal Merv Hex grenade, which causes the grenade to split into 3 on impact. We have the mitosis hex, which causes the grenade to split into 3 after being thrown. We have the cloning hex, which causes the grenade to split into 2 after being thrown. And then we have the best variants being the recurring hex, which has the benefits of both the MUV and mitosis prefixes, resulting in this grenade being split into 2 grenades and then split again into 3 MUVs upon impact. And then we have the MUV-tacular hex, which causes the grenade to split into 6 MUVs upon impact. Now both the recurring and the MUV-tacular hex pretty much do the same thing, so if you do have both of these, you're better off choosing whichever one has the elements you prefer. Overall, the grenade causes nothing but chaos, and again, it is a world drop, so your best bet for farming this is using locations like the Slaughter Shaft, Captain Traunt, or Grave Ward. And finally, the grenade has the red text, Keeper of the Stars, I Hope to Never Find, which is a reference to the song named All Bodies by the band known as Between the Buried and Me. Another awesome legendary grenade you can get your hands on is known as the epicenter. The epicenter is manufactured by Vladov and is one of the coolest grenades in the game, as when thrown it releases a ring of 13 orbs that each deal incendiary damage. And yes, those orbs are very similar to the same orbs that the boss fight known as Troy releases. The grenade will always come with the incendiary element, and if you can get your hands on the spring variant of this, it will release a set of orbs with each bounce of the grenade, basically meaning you get double the orbs released. In addition to this, another great feature is the fact that the orbs do not damage you, making this an even better choice when in buildings or tighter spaces, as this will be where the grenade can be best utilized. And finally, the red text for this grenade is "It burns, burns, burns," which could possibly be a reference to the song and animation from Loco Loco. Again, this is another world drop grenade, so hopefully you'll be lucky enough to find it. Now for the first honorable mention of the video, we have the legendary grenade mod known as It's Piss. It's Piss is manufactured by Vladov and is a fairly unique grenade in the sense that you don't really use it like a normal grenade. It doesn't do that much damage at all, but the main usage of this comes from its unique abilities, in which enemies damaged by the grenade take plus 20% damage for 6 seconds. And in addition to this, it clears all of the status effects from yourself and allies who have been hit by the grenade. Now this can prove to be quite useful, especially if you're grouped up with friends. If one of you have the grenade, you can simply throw it at bosses or use it generally while mobbing, and that plus 20% damage you'll be doing because of the grenade is quite helpful, especially on modes like Mayhem 3 and True Bolt Hunter mode. It also has the red text, "Hey you guys," which combined with the grenade's name is a reference to the Goonies. Overall, it's definitely a grenade to keep handy and can be obtained from Captain Thunkensloth in the Conrad's Hold region of Pandora in this exact location on the map. Also, because you're not using this grenade for its base damage, you don't need a high level variant, so if you're going through the game for your first time, you can pick this up as early as you would like. For the next honorable mention, we have the Surge. The Surge is a legendary grenade mod manufactured by Torg and has the red flavor text, "Thar She Blows." The grenade comes with the unique ability in which it explodes after several bounces or impacting an enemy, and will then jump 6 times and spawn 3 smaller child grenades during each jump, basically releasing a large cluster of grenades for each grenade thrown. This can also come in multiple different elements, and my preferred element for this is Cryo. This is a grenade I was using up until I managed to get a hold of the Hex and the original Porcelain Pipe Bomb, and in my opinion it's a pretty good grenade and is a good alternative if you don't have things like the Hex, Stormfront and Firestorm. Another good thing about this grenade is not only is it a world drop which can be obtained randomly, but it also has an increased chance to drop from an enemy known as Hot Carl, who can be located in the Devil's Razor region on Pandora in this exact location on the map. And for the final grenades of the video, we have the Rain Firestorm or the Diluvian Firestorm. This is a grenade that has the red flavor text, "Soon afterwards, the clouds descended upon the earth," which gives the grenade the unique ability that when thrown will call down a rain of fireballs, and depending on the variant you get, this can be a truly devastating grenade, even with the recent nerf. Now again, the two main variants to look out for here are the Rain Firestorm and the Diluvian Firestorm. These two variants produce way more projectiles than any other prefixes, and because of this, they do a lot more damage. The Rain Firestorm produces 25 projectiles that rain down from the sky with slightly less damage and has a lower radius, whereas the Diluvian Firestorm produces 20 projectiles with slightly more damage but with a bigger radius. So choosing between the two is totally down to your preference, as both are amazing. Now I haven't managed to get a Diluvian Firestorm, but my friend did, and I have the Rain Firestorm. And you can see just how crazy this grenade looks when it's thrown, and believe me, it does a lot of damage. This grenade is often compared to things like the Hex, but I do feel the Hex is slightly better than this. And same with the Stormfront now as well. Personally, I do prefer the Stormfront to this now, given the recent nerf. But again, while it has been nerfed, it still is a very, very good choice. Now in terms of obtaining this, it's a world drop like a lot of the weapons on this list, and I do want to explain that because when I did the Legendary Shields video, I didn't really explain that a lot of them were world drops, and a lot of you guys were complaining in the comment section. So to obtain this, again, farming things like the Slaughter Shaft, you know, you can run the Proving Grounds, pretty much any suitable loot source has a chance of dropping it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed this video today, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know your thoughts on what the best grenade in Borderlands 3 is at the moment, and check out this video on screen if you want to see the top 5 best legendary shields in Borderlands 3. Peace.